As a triathlete, this wetsuit was my protection. It kept me warm and buoyant as I swam. But it also covered up my weaknesses, mainly my poor swim technique. As an athlete and a caregiver, I began to realize that I didn't only wear wetsuits in races. I wore them in relationships too. And I believe I'm not alone. See, I believe we all wear wetsuits in relationships, and especially in caregiving roles. Not the one made of neoprene, but the kind of emotional armor that we zip up every time life gets hard. Every time we share in someone's struggles. Every time we carry the weight for someone we love. Now, most days we wear it without even realizing it, until the stress builds, until the weight of the caregiver burden is greater than what we're willing or prepared to give. Which then forces us to take a step back and examine our caregiving wetsuits that are stitched together by our past experiences, our expectations, and behaviors we have learned over time. Now, if I were to ask you to show me your wetsuit, or show me a picture, no two in here would look alike. See, they vary in style, durability, and fit. And that's no accident, because they've been shaped by your story. So, what are the types of wetsuits that we typically wear? First, we have the physical. They allow us to get things done. The cooking, the cleaning, the lifting, the shopping, the errands. But the problem is when we wear that in every situation, it sometimes can lead to exhaustion in our muscles. And this armor, it just tells us to keep going. But then there comes a point where we just can't continue. Then we have the ones formed under mental pressure. We also get a lot of things done. We can handle all the pieces logistically, the checkbox, the calendars, the schedules. But the risk is if we wear this all the time, our minds never shut off. And we have a tendency to want to patch our emotional cracks with doing more because we just don't have time to feel right now. Things need to get done. Then we have our emotional wetsuit that allows us to connect, to sit with someone with empathy. The risk is if we wear it all the time, sometimes we feel the need to take on someone's pain so they don't have to. And this wetsuit may look great on the outside, but it's stitched together by 1,000 little sacrifices on the inside in the name of love. Then we have our cultural wetsuits that have been passed down generation to generation that tell us how we need to act as a caregiver, that we must always put others first, at the detriment to our own health. Then my fellow healthcare professionals in this room. See, our wetsuits are sleek and pristine. The only difference may be our logo of who we represent. But our wetsuits all have a double burden. See, we have our professional role and our personal reality, especially if we're a caregiver. So no matter how your wetsuits were formed, over time, the wear and tear begins to show, the stress, the exhaustion, the impossible balancing act. They all create tiny rips in the fabric. And instead of acknowledging them, we patch them And if you're like me or most men, if you can't fix it, you duct it. See, we cover up our exhaustion by taking on more responsibility. We bury our doubts under layers of self-sacrifice or more duct tape. We mask our grief by staying busy, doing more, never stopping long enough to feel the weight of it all. Now, at first, these patches seem like solutions because they allow us to keep going. But then over time, they don't only restrict us, they isolate us and keep us from fully connecting with those we care about.